There's no doubt that Marvel has a lot of climbing uphill to do to restore their reputation because, quite frankly, the MCU has been in the toilet for years now. And a lot of fans have mentioned this. A lot of audiences have been very well aware of this fact and shouting it to the rooftops as they walk away from the theaters and walk away from the streaming service. And the numbers continue to get more dismal, whether it's Captain America 4 flopping at the box office, or whether it's bringing back a character like Daredevil and still having declining viewership on something like Disney+. So the Russo brothers, Kevin Feige, everyone involved with the next few Avenger movies, they have a lot of work to do. And they tried to get a lot of people excited today. About 24 hours ago, we started hearing whispers from people that, hey, there's going to be a big reveal today, and it's going to be massive. A huge mega reveal for the next Avengers movie, Avengers Doomsday, starring Robert Downey Jr. And this might be bigger than just Robert Downey Jr. coming back. That's what people were told from some other people at Marvel. Well, we had a big live stream to kick that off. And I got to be honest, I wasn't expecting a 5.5-hour live stream that focused on the chairs for the actors that are going to be there, for the cast. And, you know, there'd be one thing if you pan through them, but no, we spent about 10 or 15 minutes on each one before moving to the next cast member revealed, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the next cast member revealed. No type of other entertainment, no people talking, just that and some music playing in the background. But Marvel spent 5.5 hours announcing a cast of 27 people starring in Avengers Doomsday. And ultimately, they did have Robert Downey Jr. come in at the very end to sit down in his seat as the star, as Doom himself for Avengers Doomsday. It all leads to Doom. Hashtag Avengers Doomsday is now in production. Now, this was supposed to be done maybe a day or two ago, and according to what I've heard, they didn't have some of the people they needed for this announcement actually signed on the dotted line yet. So that's why it ended up happening today. But obviously, there's some people that, to be quite frank, nobody gives a fuck about. Nobody cares if they see them again. However, they did provide a pretty big internet moment, at least, announcing some of these characters. Long, slow Marvel announcement confirms original X-Men Chris Hemsworth in Avengers Doomsday cast. So that's obviously a comment there. The original X-Men. So we're talking about Patrick Stewart, Sir Ian McKellen, James Marsden, Rebecca Romijn, Ian Cumming, right? Kelsey Grammer, who we did see briefly at the end of the Marvels. They're bringing the original Fox X-Men, not the first class guys, the original X-Men team into the MCU in Avengers Doomsday. So that was obviously the big thing that they thought would really blow up. Here's a little bit of a tease from some of the characters. This is 1 minute and 43 seconds long. I don't think we'll watch all of this, but this is fast forwarded that they put out at the end instead of waiting 5.5 fucking hours. Of course, Anthony Mackie, gotta have old Captain America, which flopped at the box office. Gotta have him in there. Bucky. Letitia Wright, who I think is Black Panther right now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is also pretty much all these characters from Black Panther and Wakanda Forever they're bringing into this, including Namor. Like anybody gives a shit about seeing Namor again. I think for the stream when they revealed Paul Rudd's chair, it was a tiny little chair, a little bit different for this one. But Wyatt Russell, so pretty much what it sounds like is you have all the Thunderbolts cast in this, a movie that's coming out with seemingly little interest. Maybe this will generate more interest for that movie. Maybe that's one of the reasons they did it right now, because they can't afford another flop at the box office. All the Black Panther Wakanda Forever people, including the villain in Namor. Simu Liu thrown in there because we know his sequel isn't happening, so you had to give him something to do. Kinel Huerta is Namor, by the way. All the Fantastic Four is also in this. Let's fast forward to the moment where they got people excited. So Tom Hiddleston, Loki, haven't seen him. He sat on that big throne, king of the universe, whatever. Hadn't seen anything from him for a while. He will be in this. But here's the reveal of the original X-Men. I do like that they went to that little X-Men theme in the music, no doubt about that. But then, Channing Tatum's in this as Gambit, by the way, Pedro Pascal, and then Robert Downey Jr. himself. Now, look, that is a large cast, and it's a big Avengers movie, and there's a lot riding on this. I still think there's a lot of things that they didn't necessarily reveal. I think somebody put it, look at this. You've got Thor, Sue Storm, Captain America, Bucky Barnes, Letitia Wright as Black Panther, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent, Namor, The Thing, Shang-Chi, Florence Pugh. So again, all these Thunderbolts characters are in it. Beast, Kelsey Grammer, Sentry from the Thunderbolts movie, Danny Ramirez as Falcon. Yes, so many people wanted to see him after the flop that was Captain America. Johnny Storm, David Harbour as Red Guardian, M'Baku Ibambe is back from Wakanda Forever. Ubalde the Demon. Ghost, the character nobody gives a shit about, who is in Thunderbolts, will be in this. Loki, Professor X, Magneto, Nightcrawler, Mystique, Cyclops, Gambit, Reed Richards, and of course, Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. I think there's a better way they could have made this reveal. 5.5 hours of watching chairs, but look, they had hundreds of thousands of people tuning in to watch them reveal chairs. This is meant to generate interest and excitement and discussion, and it has generated interest and discussion. The excitement, in some cases, 100%. There are people excited to see this. I think there's way more reveals, and I think there's way more people that will be in this movie and more cameo roles, but a lot of names we didn't hear anything about, right? A lot of names that have been, thrown into the MCU in these failed fucking projects that we didn't hear shit about in those announcements. Namely, Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. No one from the Marvels was actually mentioned in this entire thing, and a handful. So I think one of the interesting things is who wasn't included in this announcement than who actually was included. But Marvel wanted to generate interest. They need a boost because Daredevil is flopping and getting very poorly reviewed. And Captain America Brave New World also flopped at the box office. They got 2 more movies that need to come out. Both of the characters in Fantastic Four and in Thunderbolts tie very close together to the next Avengers movie. Maybe they think that will convince people to go and watch it. Either way, that's the newest promo material from the MCU, but will it get people to come back to the theater? That remains to be seen.